Alright, so I'm going to do a commentary on this game. It's my first time doing one of these. Essentially, I had a great game with artillery, and I wanted to show you how it went. I ended up landing top with a behemoth, and you can see that that's not an ideal lane to kind of lane in with artillery. Their team has the legionnaire, you can see that. We have a nomad and pebbles mid. And the nomad is very good. You can see that we have Ravenor bottom and Prophet and Ravenor queued together, so they are friends, and the Malkin disconnected right when the game started, so they were trying to pause. So their team was having a little bit of difficulty, and against the Flint, had pretty good farm, just because artillery has a pretty quick attack speed, as does Flint. Now, one of the things you need to do against Legionnaire is to stop him from farming. So, I mean, Behemoth is not a good support for that. So what I did was I left the lane and tried to do that. It's not always easy. You can see here that I try to take some of his farm just so that way he doesn't just accelerate like usual. But unfortunately, since we have Behemoth, if we had a ranged support, we would be able to kind of do a better job there. The plus side, though, is that Behemoth is great mid-game, and his stun and ult are very, very valuable. So, again, early game, my role is to just farm and kind of keep Legionnaire on his toes. That's the one hero that I felt could kind of get out of control. I mean, he's their best hero right now, and nobody was disrupting him. Our mid was kind of losing at the time to Nomad. And our bottom lane, the Empath Ravenor, was going to be the carry role. So if I could do a mid game presence, that's sort of what I was going for. I used a lot of my consumables. So my first item pickup is the ring of the mana ring, so I could farm better. And actually, my mid game is quite terrible. Our Ravenor is farming all right. You can see he doesn't have treads yet. 10 minutes in. But he does have lifesteal. The Legionnaire doesn't have a PK yet, so that's great. But you can see their Nomad's doing quite well. Looks like he's going for a Rundex or a Null. And I'm just doing my thing, trying to farm. But unfortunately, it's tough to kind of see at the map. But you'll see we will have a lot of vision against us, and not a lot of vision for us. So it'll be very tough. And I do end up getting ganked once or twice within here, just trying to secure as much farm as I can. We do have a pretty good team in terms of composition, though. We have good initiators with Behemoth and Pebbles for PK. Ravenor can get a PK, so there's definitely a lot of opportunity for team fighting here. So what we're looking at here is the first team fight of the game, really. My team dives. I'm just farming here, so I don't participate in this. The tower was low, which is why they went in for it. And you can see that it nets them a kill or two, and hopefully we get the tower here. But their team kind of responds better than our team does. You can see Prophet there being chased by Nomad. And Nomad's such a strong early game hero that it's really tough to kind of stop him. So he just starts snowballing from here, which is a pretty big problem. Because everyone who plays HoN, that a fed Nomad is very difficult to beat. So while this is going on, my role is to just keep farming. Right? I could have went and helped that, but that was a pretty far dive. I kind of figured they were taking the tower and getting back, so I took the mid tower instead. And their Malkin is trying to do the same. So again, I got killed a few times. At this point, it's 16 minutes in. I should have some items, but I just have boots and my mana ring. I'm kind of stacking up the jungle to farm it. And I just want to kind of show you how much farm kind of goes into artillery, and you got to just keep farming even when you're losing. So you can see the score is kind of even right now in terms of golden experience. But an invisible Nomad there's nothing I can do, and you take a look at the mini-map, we didn't actually have any vision there, so it's very tough to kind of keep farming with a ganking-oriented enemy team. Our Pebbles doesn't have his PK yet. Our Behemoth, I think, doesn't have it yet, but they're going for it, and I think once we pick up our items, we'll have a better shot at kind of coming back from this. Now I'm just showing you here the wards. The enemy team has very aggressive wards. They're all on our side of the map. You know, we have Ravenor here picking up a Thunderclaw and Behemoth just grabbing his PK, which is good. And now when you play Behemoth and you grab PK, the first thing you want to do is team fight. So they do go in for a team fight here. You can just look at the GPM while the team fight's going on. We are significantly behind in terms of our carries. So we get demolished that team fight because their best player has Empath in him. And he actually almost grabs Annihilation. He gets a quad kill there. But you can see here that, you know, Flint and Ravenor are kind of on par as carries. Nomad is just in a tier of his own right now. And Pebbles and Legionnaire as our initiators are sort of on the same level. So I'm way behind here. And the important thing to note here is that when you're behind as a carry, you just got to keep farming. And don't let it get to you. So this is another example of, you know, me trying to farm. I did finish my icon this game, which it turns out to be quite useful. They just have a very in-your-face team, so I needed some survivability and I needed mana regen. You know, looking at Nomad's items, he's got the Shroud, the Gunjiro, and the Runed Axe. You know, Legionnaire had the PK and the Barbed, and Pat's got the Push Book. You know, so compared to our team, they have a lot more farm, and that's represented by the top bars. You can see we're down, you know, a good 12k gold and 18k experience. And this is actually the first point in which our team wants to concede, and they can't concede because it's 24 minutes yet, and I'm obviously voting no. So you can see GPM-wise, you know, besides Nomad, we're doing all right, but as a carry, you never really want to be under 300. And when you look at the hero damage, you can see that Nomad's doing most of the work. So really, games like this are pretty easy to come back from because you can just disable the one enemy hero if he doesn't build correctly. So that was sort of our goal going into this, but it didn't always work that well. We did let them get Kongor. I mean, there's nothing you could do about it when you're losing. You got to just let them get it. So we're just going to try to defend, and luckily, you know, Artillery is a great defender, and that actually pays off in this game. You know, but as of now, we're still losing by a lot, so we should be avoiding fights. You know, and I was misplaced there, but luckily we were counter-initiated there. So you could see here that the Nomad's up above a little bit with the Empath in him, and he does not have the token. And so we kind of call that out, and when we realize that, we just go on him. It's sort of a no-brainer. The token actually went to Malkin, who's here, and Malkin's, you know, for the trolling that he's doing on his team, he's definitely participating and doing quite well. The Flint is also very farmed. You know, it's pretty difficult for me to take out any of these guys. I have no damage items. So I think I die here. Yeah. So, you know, our whole team dies. By this point, Pebbles is back in since it was so long. But you never want to do this. You never want to go in by yourself. And that's what he ends up doing, and just ends up turning against him. So he literally has boots PK. It's not really a good position to be in. So that was a terrible fight, and at this point we've just continued to lose fights. Didn't get the token, but we did steal the we did get the gold from Nomad. So at this point I'm just thinking to myself, Doombringer, we're losing by so much and we're just turtling. This is one of the first team fights that goes well for us. Behemoth gets an amazing initiation, and I'm able to just hit them from afar. And our team is quite good with buying revs and dust. You'll see that they do buy the appropriate items, which does a big help for us. So Behemoth and Ravenor kind of clean up that whole fight. Doesn't really do much there, but that starts to bring us back into the game, and that's sort of the point where the team's rallying. Now, keep in mind, that was a 3v5, so it wasn't really a big deal, but it was a 3v5. You know, we're still losing significantly. And the next thing we're going to look to do here is a fight, and this is completely my fault, but I wanted to put it in because I just wanted to show you that not all games are perfect. You know, I called out a guy on his own. I wanted Prophet to go in with me and just get a quick kill, and it turned into a double tap for them, and we just fed. And in actuality, that feed spirals into a very big problem. So, you know, that mistake that I made, you can see, got followed up by Ravenor, who went in alone, and he'll end up dying. And now it's just a 5v2, which is very difficult to contest. And it's unfortunate, because Behemoth has his ult. You know, Pebbles decides to go in, but there's a nullstone on Nomad. So Nomad already has that. Behemoth gets a massive ult off, but, you know, I mean, it's not an instant kill. So their team is quite farmed at this point. I think Nomad has the Conjuro, the Runed Axe, and the Nullstone at this point. Flint at least has 3 items, and same with Malkin. And I think they still have the token, too. So they just take middle racks. And remember, this was all because Prophet and I went in, and we fed. Prophet feeds again for some reason. But we're able to kind of, from afar, use artillery to hit him back. But I still don't have that many items. I have not completed the Doombringer yet at this point. But very shortly I will. You can see my gold is 29.41. So I'm only a few hundred off the Doombringer. And I did nab a kill there, so I have just enough to buy it. So I'm pretty sure I buy it as soon as possible, but yeah. So I just picked it up, but they raxed for it. So it's unfortunate, but our death spiraled into 2 raxes down, 36 minutes in. I was just looking for somebody here, really. And so my items are pretty pathetic for this time. Now, they are trying to make us concede. Our team is trying to concede. And at this point, you just want to encourage your team that they can't win. The enemy team can't win. And I felt that they couldn't win. We had better players. So this is the enemy team summing up, getting ready for their final push into the base. I actually started buying wards because, you know, people didn't want to buy them. They missed their initiation, which is very bad. And so we punished them for that. Don't forget, every kill I get with the Doombringer, I get extra damage. So these kills are giving me Icon token counters, and they're giving me Doombringer counters. So it's very important for me to get the kills at this point in the game, and positioning is an absolute must. So I got a quad kill there, and I'm not going to go out and fight that Nomad. You know, he could probably 3-shot me. Oh, he has a shield breaker as well at that point, you saw. So I'm trying to defend all the creeps, and this Nomad is around, and I think Pebbles wanted to try to kill him, and he keeps forgetting Nomad has a Nullstone. So you'll see what happens here. It's unfortunate. And I'm just trying to defend the base here at this point. So GPM-wise, I'm finally catching up to the rest of the game. You know, gold and damage-wise, I'm starting to get into it. I'm the one dishing out, doing the work. So I don't have my second Doombringer yet, but I'm close. I'm 1,000 gold off, and they're going to go for another push here again. And their strategy this time was sneak around, like you see. We don't have the rev wards anymore, but just them spending the time to kill our tanks is usually enough for us to get a quick kill. So Behemoth's able to pin them down, you know, and I finish them off, and every one is another 10 damage on that Doombringer. So we do drop another rev ward, you know, and you can see here positioning is incredibly important. I can't get caught. So you'll see me moving back a few times and reloading the cannon for artillery. So at this point, you know, the Nomad is getting a little pissed. This was their second failed attempt, 42 minutes in. And Malkin disconnects. He does come back. I think he's just trolling his team. So I pick up my second Doombringer. And now they're going again. They're trying the split push, right? So if you can't push into the base in one lane, you try to split push. You know, and maybe one of you guys can get a Rax. Now, Nomad's, you know, done. He's got Savage Mace. He's 6 slotted. Flint almost done. No, so they're almost maxed itemed. It's not going to get any harder than this. Green goes Codex because they keep trying to jump on me. And their strategy here is walk past our team and just jump on the artillery. So you'll see it. And I try to stay safe, but it's very difficult without vision. Right, so Ravenor goes in, I go to save him, but I see the Nomad, so I have to back up. Right? I can't die. So I take out the Nomad here. You know, just get a few counters, and unfortunately, Ravenor died for that. But we do net some counter kills. You know, there's the Flint. Yeah, he just melts. I honestly don't know why I didn't buy me for the type of game this is. So that's now their third attempt pushing in. We've cut to the fourth attempt where I'm going for another Doombringer. And this one's very interesting. Nomad just instantly destroys our team. And there's nothing I can do at this point. Behemoth gets an amazing stun off. I take out the Flint, and I just want to get counters on the Doombringer, so I keep trying to get kills. And don't forget, I can't man up on these heroes. They're straight up stronger. And you'll see here, I actually die. So the noob move that happened is Pebbles, who I queued with, unfortunately, he picked up the Doombringer, and I bought back saying, don't pick up the Doombringer. So now we're kind of in this tough situation where I'm weaker than before. You know, Pebbles has the Doombringer, and he has the good one. He has the one with all the counters on it, 12 counters on it. So we are kind of screwed. And I was really pissed at this. You know, I was kind of saying, what the heck? They didn't even come near our base. Why would you do that? On the other hand, Ravenor tried to do it too. I just came fast enough. So they take Kong again. And I buy another Doombringer. So this is my third I bought, but I only have 2 on me. And Flint takes the token. And they're just going to try to take the base here. They're getting really pissed. So we try our best to defend it here. And as long as I can go in with my ult, we can get kills. So we pick off Malkin. I think he's getting a little frustrated. You know, they're trying to sneak around the back. They're just trying to get in, but we have vision at this point. And, you know, kudos to Prophet for helping us. Now, this is actually where I think it's great. You know, Pebbles goes in and dies in our base. So I pick up the Doombringer that I needed, which is excellent because those counters are quite important. So now I have 3 Doombringers dealing a lot of damage. I mean, you can see my damage is over 1,000, right? So the missiles are dealing an incredible amount of damage. And Ravenor decided to go tank, which helps a lot. So I do end up dying, which is terrible, but this time we communicate correctly. And I tell the team, I'm coming back. Please do not take the Doombringers. You know, and they listen, so I'm blocked by the creeps a bit, but I end up being able to get them back and snagging some kills. And because of that, I think that was the turning point of the game. So you can look, the experience, we're now even. And I have these Doombringers with all these counters on them. So at this point, I'm feeling pretty comfortable in the sense that, you know, I was able to take out a few heroes without problem. And they just keep coming. So in this situation, Malkin was invis, but my team has great response time. So I'm able to just take him down, and the icon will bring me back up in HP. And while this is happening, Legionnaire is trying to backdoor. So, you know, it's very hard to be in all places at the same time, but our team is quite responsive. So, you know, we're just snagging kills when we can.
Waste of time. Too easy.
So, gotta be careful. You know, I can't go in too far. So I do stay back. And I am missing experience and stuff here. But we're getting a lot of kills, and those counters are just racking up. You can see my damage is now at, what is that, 1,300? And we do get a genocide. So, obviously we want to push, but it's that weird situation where, you know I don't have attack speed. So, I can't really take down towers. You know, this is not an optimal damage build. So, you know, we do the best we can. We push forward, and we hope that our non-carries can defend the base, and this is actually when I get the highest GPM. You know, Nomad buys back. He's maxed items, so it doesn't matter, and we have the dust, so he's kind of screwed. And I position myself to the side, so when he does ult, I don't get hit. And he uses his second buyback, because he has nothing else to do. because he thinks, you know, I'm maxed items. What am I gonna do? So we can't see Nomad. No idea where he is, but Prophet brings the eye, and it's unfortunate that Prophet dies there, but we do end up being able to get him. So we take out Nomad there, and then take out the Malkin there. Just continually killing them. They're coming in one by one. And Legionnaire TP's bottom, which is very bad. We can't get back there. I did get the TP boots, and Pebbles said he was fine. So, you know, I kind of trusted the team here, and I wasn't watching him, and I came too late. So I did leave, and it's very unfortunate because not only did I leave, but we didn't get the racks. So they have mega creeps as of now. It's kind of difficult to defend mega creeps if you've never done it before. They have a lot of HP. And the enemy team, you could see here, they're trolling us. You know, our strategy will never work, that sort of thing. But I finish a 4th Doombringer. You know, I now have 1600 damage. I mean, mega creeps have a lot of HP, but at this point, I'm sort of melting through them. You can just watch the waves kind of get melted. So it's not a problem in terms of defending, but I was very worried about them pushing. And they kind of push in not as a full team, you know, so we take advantage of that. And I'm staying very far back, you can see. And this team fight, you know, they went for the wrong heroes. They're still hitting Behemoth in that fight, you know. And our initiation was excellent. So now it's 56 minutes in, and you're thinking, should I push or should I, like, defend? You know, is 60 seconds enough time to get to their base, racks, and either throne or get the other axes? But Ravenor was very adamant about ending it. You know, he said he was almost maxed items. You can see he built very tanky. So I agreed, you know, I'll come as fast as I can. I have TP boots, so I can always get back, but I have no buybacks. So if I die, the game's over. Doombringers are gone, everything. So, you know, we start by taking out the Raxes, and, you know, we're looking at the time here, and we're kind of like, all right, 30 seconds, that wasn't that bad. You know, I'm hitting for 1700. And then once you see these towers go down, you realize, wow, that's a lot of damage. You know, we can do this. And, you know, luckily we're able to end the game here and kind of teach those guys a lesson, never giving up, and how to successfully carry your team. All right, thanks for watching.